But you said something earlier, which I'm gonna just push on it just a little bit. We broke our cameras. Everybody, listen. We sorry. We in black and white theme right now. I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Okay, because someone asked me a question. I think this is really interesting. We're getting really into the deepness, so I don't know if you want to go this deep, but
come on, man. You know me by now.
It's like I'm gonna go off the cliff here. Okay. So one of the questions that I used to ask people a lot, because I one of the things is that we are made in God's image, right? But we are not God.
Yep.
Okay. So what makes things difficult is that you talk to people and people want to make moves as if they are God, right? But that's the goal, right? To be as close to God as possible. By doing so, I think that's moving in silence. That's what I think it is.
Okay.
Right? Being close to silence as possible, because that being in a place of silence gives you a good understanding of like what it feels like to be God, right?
Okay.
God
So
doesn't really talk to you. Okay. The question I have is that if you have I have two questions. First question is, if you could get God advice, what would it be?
Oh. If I can give God advice, how come you won't just make me rich? I'm being honest, so that I can open up my group home and help kids.
Facts.
And give them a place to live, because homelessness in, I think, L.A. County can fill Dodger Stadium 5 times for homeless youth. I'll give you a real example.
Run it.
I didn't come here last Thursday because me and my brother drove to Bakersfield to work and dig for gold. Because I had some random dream that I found gold between 2 trees, and this bunny was right next to it. And it was at Lake Isabella. So I drove there and I didn't find anything. And I looked up to heaven and said, God, why didn't you let me find this gold? I could have opened up your group home immediately, and kids' lives would have been impacted. My wife would have been their marriage and family therapist. They can live in my home and work through their trauma. So I would ask God, how come you didn't let me find that gold?
So then my next question to you is...
And God's response will be, because I need you to build more character, probably.
Hey, you got to open the right doors here, man.
But yeah.
Well, then my next question to you is that you said, where do I come from? I fucking 100% agree with you. Mm-hmm. I came from God. And so you said everything comes
everything has a creator.
Okay, then
everything.
Where did God come from?
That's deep.
That's the ultimate question I have not yet to answer.
Oh, yeah. And that's the thing. So I'll answer it for you. And I'm not going to act like it's not hard for me to understand, because it is.
Sure.
God created time for humans. God is outside of time, which means nobody created him, because we're all born at a time. And that is the short answer. But I think if you wrestle with that, where did he come from? Then it's just going to throw off your thinking. But I've thought about that too. Like, where did God come from? But he didn't come from anywhere. He's been there. He created time for us.
See, so I agree with you here, because I think time is definitely outside of the realm. But I think it's less about trying to answer where God comes from, and more about how do you struggle with the fact that God is
invisible?
No. What's the more probable that there is or isn't a God? And I think the more probable that there is.
Yeah.
It's just there's so much unexplained that you think there has to. Yeah. There's just everything.
How many 1 billion sperm cells and one sperm cell makes it?
Yeah. Just
like, come on, that's not out of nowhere.
Dude,
somebody had to create that.
So just the atoms opening up, and then there's one living cell that just so happened to land on a rock, and that rock just somehow transformed to like a shark and a dinosaur and some plants. And I mean, it's just so probable. It's just the probability of it, and they're already finding other life in other places. Like that looked easy. Like there's so much possibilities for it to happen. I just don't think it's probable. But I think again, I still push this, right? Because if I'm a painter and I'm painting something, I'm painting these paintings up here, right? I know that I can explain where the paintings come from, right? Because I'm the painter, I'm the god of the painting, right? But I also can explain where the painter came from, right? The painter came from somewhere, right? You know, so I think that there is a question of just like, where did God come from?
So watch this. I'll push back on that. Here's what I always tell people who bring this up. Okay, you can live your life like God doesn't exist, and you can wrestle with that question up until your deathbed. And then you die. What happens if he is real and you didn't live like it? Right. Or you go like this. You live like a believer and a Christian, and you know the Bible talks about heaven or hell, and then you die. And then he isn't real. But even though I know he is, then you've lived that good life. That's the question. Why play with your life when you can live like he is real? Or you live like he's not real, and then you die and he is real. then you're screwed. And that's the question everybody will have to wrestle with. Your life will make much more sense if you live like he is real. Why take that gamble? Where, all right, I'm going to pass away. I don't know what happens next. What? Why gamble on that?
I think, okay, I'm going to play devil's advocate then.
Let's go.
Oh, God, I'm on the side of the devil, Jesus. All right, listen. If you want to live life, why live so much frightful of the future? Instead, live for the moment. Live for the now. There's so much happiness that could be found on the day to day. There's so many people who have anxiety for the future, who have depression about their past. And it's just so much more humbling to kind of like take the opposite approach. You have the first side of things, leave it up to God. That's the goal, right? Leave it up to God. God's going to work it out. But you also have the other side itself and say, look, just focus on the moment. You know, don't focus so much on the future. Yeah. Enjoy the moment, enjoy this time. Where does it come the balance for you of someone being able to enjoy life, but also be able to make sure that they live within God's reasoning? Because there's hundreds of religions out there.
So here's the thing. I think a lot of people won't say this. The reality is people act like God tells you to do crazy stuff. He doesn't. He says, love your neighbor like you love yourself. Can we all agree we should be kind to people?
Facts.
Okay.
I agree.
Let's do something else. Confess your sins in front of one another so you may be healed. Confess the trauma you've been through or bad situations you've been a part of in front of a group of people so you can have healing in your heart. Is that so bad?
No.
So some of the stuff he says, people act like he's saying something crazy. He's saying, don't go to bed angry. Fix the problem between you and your spouse. Is that wrong? No. Should you fix the problem between you and your spouse before going to bed so it doesn't fester in your heart? Yeah. So people, I get confused and people act like he's saying crazy stuff. I'm completely 100% normal. I work out. I go to the gym. I try to be kind to people. Everybody agrees. So I'm tired of people acting like God says crazy stuff. Like you should have sex and be married. I'm about to give you a bomb.
Hey,
right
I was
now.
just thinking now. I was like, why, man? I can't. I'm trying to get that.
Watch this. There's a neuron in your brain called the preactive neuron. Every time you bust an orgasm, a guy, it takes a picture of what's in front of you. That's why sex is meant for one person. So if you have sex with multiple people, every time you bust a nut, your brain will take a picture of that girl.
I've heard of this.
This is crazy. And then with all those photos in your head, say you stop and you get married. Then you're going to struggle in your marriage, which can lead to adultery or cheating. Because you have all these girls in your head like a photo album.
Okay, hold up.
Wait, let me finish.
Oh, because this
is...
okay.
Watch this.
Great transition.
A virgin gets married and another virgin gets married. A guy and a girl. They have sex with each other at age 18. Boom, their brain both takes a photo of each other. They continue to have sex up until age 30, 40, 50. The photo changes, but it's the same person, which means they'll have a less chance of cheating on each other because they've only had sex with each other. In their brain, their preactive neuron takes a photo of them. Sex is meant for one person.
Sure.
So watch this. God's not wrong for saying that. He's protecting you. He's saying have sex with one person because when you sleep with multiple people, you open up doors, different STDs, a soul transmitted disease, because you're having sex with all these people. So watch this. It's not so crazy to have sex with one person. So I'm tired of people trying to play God and act like what he's saying is wrong. And people just say, do what you want, do what you feel.
I agree. I don't think God's saying, hold up. I
wanted to answer your question though, because you're saying live in the moment. If I want to live in the moment, then I should look at every girl who has a butt and be like, oh, let me go get on that. But I'm married and I have a kid. I can't do that. So watch this. Maybe God is actually protecting us from ourselves. And he sees something that we don't see. I'm the prime example.
Okay.
I've been with I'm not capping, 100 girls. 100 girls. And I'm a married man. And in the beginning of my marriage, it was a struggle because they kept popping into my head. And I have to try hard to suppress it. I see them out in public when I'm with my wife and kids sometimes because they've had a piece of me. But I'm married, right? My son is looking at me like, love my mama, right? I need you to be with my mama forever. So what if I just listened to God and just had sex with one person, my wife? That I wouldn't be in this predicament.
I think life is more simple and peaceful if you can do so, which I agree.
So watch this. I don't think back to your question. You asked me, how do you balance being a believer and then kind of being normal and living in the moment? That's how. God doesn't say crazy stuff. That's completely okay to be with one person. I think that's noble. I think that's honorable. What's not cool is smacking everything that's walking. That's not cool. You just hurt yourself. You hurt yourself in the end.
Do you think you can only love one person?
No.
Okay. So if you only can love one person, do you think you can share love with multiple people?
You mean like if my wife passed away, or what do you mean? Like dating?
I think that's the question, right? Because this is where I agree with you here. That I think life is much easier and simpler living a life with monogamy, right? Where you're with one person, right? But I think being with multiple people, I think there's a share of love if you want to share with multiple people.
You're talking about polygamy?
Yes, and I think that people wanting to with people wanting to do so, people wanting to do so in a consensual relationship,
Open relationship.
Sure, let's call it what it is, right? Being able to do so, I don't think that's a problem. People want to be able to go and have. Now, this is again, I think we're talking about two different things. Am I talking about belief, faith in the individual, or am I talking about socially normal, socially acceptable? And I think that people wanting to go and be with multiple people should have the ability to do so.
Okay, so if you had a daughter,
I don't, but I do not. But I do not recommend for people to do so. That's where I stand.
Okay, so if you had a daughter,
Shoot.
and she says, "I want an open marriage with 4 men," what do you say?
Be free.
Really?
I don't want you to do so, right? I don't think that's a good idea, right? I would tell, hey, I don't think it's a good idea. This is the good and bad of the system, right? That's where I stand. But if it's her decision, she wants to go do that, do it. I think it's like.
But you don't want her to do it.
Yeah.
So why are you fighting for this idea if you wouldn't want your own daughter to do it?
Well,
you're like this. You're saying this. I don't want my kid to do it, but hey, these people should have the choice to do it. But me, I don't want my kid to do it. That's what you're saying. You're saying two different things. Okay. You have to stand on that. If you're for the open relationship and polygamy, then you need to be clapping when your daughter says that, essentially, because you're trying to fight for their rights too. So I'm not understanding the disconnect.
Hold up. I think I don't think everything is so black and white. I don't think everything has to be so.
Oh, yeah, definitely everything's not black and white.
Again, so I think there's a little bit of gray and understanding in certain situations, right?
Yep.
And that's the situation. If it's mine, that's different. If it's yours, that's not.
What?
Because you have to understand that, right? Like if I'm gonna go,
I don't mind if you shoot this gun, but hey, my kid, hey, you can't do that. But y'all can go do a drive-by.
Absolutely. If I have a kid who says, hey, I want to join the military, okay. Listen, look, I like the military. I know we need the military. But I don't want my kid going out there and having to go shot. Now, if he wants to do that, hey man, do your thing. Because I want my kid to be noble, be able to do that, can have the decision to do so. But do I want my kid to get shot at and get killed and live his life until he's 25 years old by a government that barely does give a fuck about him? No, I don't. But at the end of the day, do I want someone to have the ability to do so? Do we need to get protected? Yeah. Does it have to be my kid? No. And so, what do you mean? I don't think it's so out of this world to have that type of mentality. I would even say the same thing in terms of eating, right? Like if someone wants to be a vegan and all they want to eat is plants, like okay, fuck you. I go do it. Be free, be like awesome. But if someone comes to me and says, hey, look, you
have to eat plants.
Yeah, that's a whole different like. Wait, hold the phone. It's kind of like this whole and I just get back to where we're coming from.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's where I think I stand. I believe in.
Not for your household, but you believe people should be able to do what they want to do.
Yeah, even in your
household, you have your own specific set of rules.
Now, see, that's where I think we would lean. I don't have rules. I think I just would have. I would have philosophies. I would have an understanding, a psychology. I
think life is better when you have rules.
I think that's fair. I think that
because you stop at a stop sign, that's a rule. You yield, that's a rule.
True.
You don't park in the handicap parking, that's a rule. So what you're saying is not true because you follow rules every day. You pay taxes on your business. That's a rule. See, so you agree with rules. So you believe your household, if you had kids, should have rules because you live by rules every single day. You believe in rules.
I believe in rules.
You believe in rules in every way possible.
Then
you're saying my house shouldn't have rules. I should have philosophy.
Hold up. Okay, so I'm a libertarian.
Dog, I'm getting your liberalism right now, bro.
So then you have to understand, like, my social contracts is very dangerous in my mind. Like, telling someone what they can or cannot do with their own life and body, as long as it doesn't affect me, I think that's a very dangerous dynamic. Yes, I do think you, in some way, shape, or form, have to protect people from themselves. I do. But I don't think you can go and just tell people, like, you can't operate or act or be who, like you can't, even in my own household, I'm just letting you know, like, look, the way the rules, and again, this is obviously completely probably different when I have a kid. Because listen, I will give you this, because as soon as you have a kid, like,
your thinking changes.
I'm not, to your words, the trifecta has not been completed, right? Yeah. But But that's where I stand. I just don't think you have the ability. I don't think you should be able to tell people, because I feel like that causes the most friction and the most destruction in someone's mind. If I have someone in my household, right, and this is where I think we're gonna get into the gender, right? If I think in the rule in my house, men need to wear women's clothes, I don't think that rule's being set in the same token, right? If I have a rule in my house saying that men must wear men's clothes, right? I think that there's some times where people are gonna start fighting like the rule, like why in testing the rule. So you kind of have to understand,
if
like
the rule don't make sense, yeah, they're probably gonna fight.
Yes.
You don't fight a stop sign.
Well, why
you
does
don't fight a handicapped parking spot?
Why does the rule make sense?
You don't fight gas in your car. That is a rule. Your car does not work without gas. You don't put water in your car. So you don't fight rules that make sense.
But men used to wear skirts. They used to wear heels.
Okay.
So, like, at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself why the rules are. So it's not just about the rule. It's about understanding the psychology and the philosophy of why the rule is in place. I want my kids to understand the psychology and philosophy of things, not so much to be like you cannot or cannot and do. That doesn't matter to me. My point is saying, hey, look, this is the rules that we follow in this household. This is the understanding of why we do it, right? I want them to understand more of why than why not, right? Or excuse me, why instead of no, right?
Yeah, of course. Because explaining it to them, I agree with that.
Okay, so that's what I'm trying to explain. I think the psychology and philosophy is way more important than the rule itself. Sure, at the end of the day, yeah, we have a rule, but I don't want to tell
why. Definitely.
That's what my thing is. I would tell my kid, okay, hey, I want to wear. Let's say, okay,
You're trying to say it's not really about. You don't want it to be called a rule. You want it to be, this is the philosophy.
Yes, but let me explain. So if I had a kid that comes to me and says, "Hey, Dad, I'm a boy, right? But I want to be a girl, right?" The first thing I'm thinking, right, is all right, bet. So you want to be a girl, you need to explain to me why, right? Like we're conversating here. It's not like no, we ain't doing it. That's not. You see the rule? You look at the board.
Of course,
it says no, right?
Your home should be filled with love first. So I totally understand that.
So you get where I'm coming from, though?
Yeah,
that's
you would want to know their thought process.
Yes, of course. I want to understand the psychology. I want to understand the philosophy, and then I want to break it down. Okay, this is all right. Let's. You want to go down this road? Okay, let's look at it, and then I'm going to show them the life of what someone lives like that, how painful it is, and why I wouldn't do it. And this is essentially what's going on. I'll support.
Pretty good. I agree with that.
Now, would you support them?
I would do exactly what you just did. Like explain, okay, if you want to live your life this way, these are the consequences that come with it. But no, I would not support it. No. But watch this. I wouldn't love my kid any less.
So what's the difference?
You're still my son. You're still my daughter. But if you think I'm finna go buy you a dress from Forever 21, on God, I'm not doing that. But watch this. That doesn't change the love I have for you. I'm still your dad. So we're still going to do what we do. I'm still going to do what I do. I wrestle with my son now. If I keep wrestling with him, I'm still going to wrestle with him. It's not going to change my love for you. But watch this. I don't always have to agree with you. We don't agree with each other, but there's love here, correct?
Facts.
I would treat my son or daughter just like that if they struggled with their sexuality. The love is not going to go anywhere, but I'm not going to agree with your lifestyle.
Okay, then let's.
It's like if my son gangbanged. I'm not agreeing with that. I don't want you killing your own people, hurting your community, selling drugs to people in your community and that causing death. I don't have to agree with that, but I don't have to love you any less. And that's where people get it twisted. You can disagree with somebody and still love them. We can have two different perspectives. But I'm still going to do everything I can to try to help you, like we talked about with the storage and the SD card. Even though you may be on the opposite end of the spectrum, the love I have is not going to change. But I don't have to agree with your ass. Why do we always have to agree? We don't. It's not going to change my love for you.
I'm going to go middle ground then, not too polarized then. We're going to go hit the gray. Your kid wants to be, I don't know if you're probably going to agree with this when I say it. Good. Wants to be the next actor. Let's just say they like.
You want to be Michael B. Jordan, Will Smith? What's up?
Yeah. Okay, I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to find the probability, right?
What's wrong with
that? That's my question, right?
That's cool.
Okay. Let's say they want to be a circus. They want to join a circus. Okay. Let's say that. Okay. That's a look, right? There's some circus Circle del Sol, right? Some of the most insane circus people making hundreds of thousands of dollars, but that is like the 1%.
Yep.
So the
You're
question,
asking what I would say?
this is the question, right? Because there's certain things that you will not agree with, right? And so at someday, do you support someone? It's not a crazy thing. They're not want to become this like, they're not, but they want to work hard at something and become good at it, right?
Yeah.
What is the still no support, but I still love you? Like that just seems so like, I know what it feels like to be in that, because that's exactly how my relationship with my father is.
Yeah.
It's the exact same. Mm-hmm. He did not want me to join do business at all in any way, shape, or form. There was no support. No.
That's so strange because business runs the world, and business is not morally wrong or anything.
Hold up. I think there's some sense to it. I understand where he's coming from, right? The chances of business happening, me dropping out of college, going into business, right? The chances of that happening, statistically, the chances of a business surviving is like 1 out of every, they say 100.
Okay.
Like it's not like this, oh my gosh, you're going to be uber successsul for this venture. It's going to be really difficult.
Yeah.
At least get your degree and do your thing before you go down that venture, right? So I don't have I have support, but in a way I don't, right? Mm-hmm. Right? So the question I have is that, like, you want to do what's best for your kid or your child or whatever, but at the same time, you're also dragging them slower. They're moving slower because of that weight that you have put on them. Like this lack of just like, well, you're going to go out in the desert. Good luck out there. Even though I have a camel right here, like, look, let's just get you there. Like, you kind of understand where I'm coming from?
But tell me your question so I can
answer. So the question is, when do you support people? When do you actually go and give them, even if you don't agree? What does that look like?
I think every situation is different. It goes back to what I'm saying. You can still support somebody. Okay, let's use the circus
example.
Okay, I'd go, all right, this is the life of somebody who's in the circus, the average person. These are the pros, these are the cons. I'd say son or daughter. I'll use my son, baby Monty. Are there a lot of great doctors in the world? Yeah. Are there a lot of great basketball players in the world? Yeah. Baseball? Yeah. Entrepreneurs? Yeah. Artists? Yeah. I'll say, name me the great circus person in the world. And then I'll wait and it'll be quiet. And you probably can't think of it. So I'll say, why would you go in that career? I'm a man. Legacy is important. There's people who are doctors who leave a legacy. People who are great philanthropists who leave a legacy. People who are great NBA players and leave a legacy. People who are great entrepreneurs and leave a legacy. I would say, how does you being involved in the circus leave a great legacy for you, for my name and your name?
Hey, Dad, still want to be a circus. So what does that look like?
But God willing, I raise my son to where
you're telling me that.
No, he's not simple-minded and just thinking.
Of course,
like that.
but that's not the question here.
No, but I'm answering
that
your
son,
question.
right? I'm that son. I'm that son.
But can I be honest though?
Okay, no, I understand
about your dad, at least from what you've told me.
Yeah, but my father's okay. Go on. I have no shade to I love my fucking dad.
And it's
my
no disrespect.
Yeah,
but that is the weirdest thing I've ever heard. Of him not supporting you with business. I thought you were going to say something crazy like, I wanted to be an actor and he didn't support me. Then I'd be like, hell yeah, that's not sustainable almost 95% of the time. But business runs the world. Everything is a business. Yum Yum's a business. Naked's a business. So I don't get why he didn't support you with that. That's stupid to me, bro. You didn't come to him saying you want to be some gender studies major.
Okay, I understand.
Like I don't he made it seem like to you like I'm not supporting you being a business major. What are you talking about? Everything in the world is a business. So that is lame on his part to me that he didn't support you in that.
Well, I think again, you have to
I can use myself. I want to be an actor coming out of high school.
Okay.
I said, Dad, I want to be a theater major. He said, no. Why? Boy, you can't make no bread being a theater major. The chances of you making it in Hollywood are slim. And I went, okay, you're right. That makes sense for him not to support me. But your son wanting to be a business major and you're not getting support? That's weird, bro. I feel like any normal person would support their son being a business major.
Okay, hold up. Okay, listen.
Like,
okay.
You didn't say something extreme.
Okay, but I'm gonna take it back. I'm not letting you run from this. I'm not taking it back. My question is,
I ain't running. Come on. I'm not running, bro.
Come on, Dad.
Let's go. Come on. Talk to me.
But I believe you have to support someone. Listen, my kid wants to be a girl. Well, you can be the best damn girl ever. At the end of the day,
I disagree with you.
But
you don't have a kid yet, bro. If you have a boy, you have a son first.
Look, you want to be a killer? All right, man. You gonna be an assassin. We gonna be going here.
If you have a son first and he looks at you and says, "I want to be a girl," you're not gonna tell me you're jumping for joy to support them.
Of course not.
If this happens in your life, you better call me when this happens, because I want to know exactly what you're gonna say. So you're not gonna be jumping for. Wait, I have a real example.
Hold this video. Full cap. Watch this in 5 years, okay? And watch. And if my kid ever replay this, keep this archived, because I'm telling you, one, I don't think it will happen. But two, watch the way I handle it. Watch. Like, I'm going to go through the same thing you just did. Explain the psychology of philosophy and why that's not the case. Why we believe what we believe. This is what a man is.
And if they disagree, you'll still support them?
I have to.
You'll support the sex change? Come on, man. You're not doing that when your kid gets here, bro. You're only, watch this. You only feel, okay. I'll use a perfect example.
I'll support with my feelings, but it doesn't have to be my dollars.
Wait, watch this.
It doesn't have to be my dollars, though.
But watch this.
That's different.
I got you.